Yep, you read the title right. Welcome to the third chapter of my life. If you had survived my first and second chapter, that means you're about to enter a much deeper and darker story. But don't worry, because this time, I'll be with you and we'll go through it together. Are you ready? Let's go back to the second year of high school, 9th grade. I surpassed my first year of high school, and despite everything that I went through, I wanted to pull myself together by living a normal and positive life. But being a sophomore in high school was scary. Not only was I afraid to what torture I'd have to go through in my second year, but I was afraid of dealing with high school drama. I didn't have a choice, because it chose me to be its victim. Before I begin the story, here's the worst and painful part of this year. It was having the nightmares created by your first high school crush. He was in my class homeroom, and it all began with a simple hello on Facebook, and that's where it started. Without realizing that the trust you put into that person, knowing that the two of you would be perfectly fine, leads into something so wrong. Unfortunately, the word perfect doesn't exist, because someone like him only used me as a tool, a toy, or something temporary to play on. We were in those types of relationships in which this generation calls secret relationships. Now, I won't tell you the name just yet, but you might have an idea. I became uncomfortable about the idea in our so-called relationship. I called quits, but he had an obsession for me and it led to something awful. Now, does this ring a bell? I hope it does, because the subject of this chapter is someone you don't want to miss or forget. You were the reason my life was dragged to hell, but who am I to blame? You put on a goddamn good of a charm, and I fell for it. You were the Christian Grey in this chapter, a 50 Shades of Dark past. Do you remember what you did to me? Those times where you asked me to sneak out of class only to meet up with you. Only because you needed a friend. I trusted you. Anyone who's listening right now, do you want to know what he really did? What did you really do, T? Well, let's find out. Welcome to your chapter, TB. You played your cards pretty well, T, as you took me for granted on those stairs above the school office. Did you really enjoy pushing me against the walls as you slip your hands and fingers underneath my tights? As you covered my mouth so that I wouldn't make a sound and hugged me so tight so that I wouldn't dare to move. You saw the look on my face that I was afraid, but yet you didn't stop. You got what you wanted, and then you left me speechless and numb as you walked away. You say you loved me, but it was written all over your face that I was just your satisfaction. When I told someone about us, my friends specifically, and hoped that I could seek help without involving anyone else into the mess you created, I was afraid. The moment and the minute I told someone about us, it led to a whole different story. You revised my story, and the one and only key to my freedom from you. I begged for help, told you stories of what happened to me, but most of you just stood there and watched. Some even laughed and thought it was the most ridiculous lie they've ever heard, and I must have been dreaming. I was left feeling ashamed and embarrassed, not to mention humiliated, to have someone twist your story and to have someone throw it at your face. All I wanted was to stay away from him. I wanted to leave and move schools at that point. His obsession of me grew deeper and stronger to a point where he was dangerous around me. He constantly did what he wanted and eventually got away with every rumor that was spread between us. It became the school's popular rumor. A rumor that all started from a crush, a rumor that should have won an award, a rumor based on a story on top of another story, to a point the truth was hidden by a lie. I became the class clown and a laughing stock. I was in pain. I wanted it to stop, but I didn't know where to start. I didn't know who to trust, so I kept the secret to save myself from being humiliated. As summer approached, I was happy to get out of hell, because that way I get to be far away from him. I was hoping things would get better at this point, but that was just the beginning. Therefore, stick around, TB, because you won't believe where your name pops up next.